We all remember the Shadows Uprising, caused by the balance patch the 3rd of February 2017. From all this chaos, the Tier 1 Warstorm champion deck was born. The red-green terror has since dominated the latter. But today, we will stop the oppression. We won't go quietly anymore. We are the voice of hunger!
Good morning, guys. I'm Joke. Let me just tell you quickly about this deck I put together. I call it Voice of Hunger. So the whole idea around this deck is to produce a lot of creatures with high health or buff their health somehow to then sacrifice with the Voice of Hunger. Voice of Hunger gets life and attack equal to whatever it sacrificed life. So if you, for example, kill 2 living willows with it, which is pretty easy, it gets plus 14, plus 14. And that is quite strong. And after that, you can just teleport it around with the Grove Caller to kill your opponent. You also have some backups with the Oakling. The Oakling synergizes really well with Voice of Hunger, producing multiple big threats instead of just the one. So basically with this deck you got 6 bigger threats, and that is without counting a buffed Grizzly or a Willow or so from the Elderwood Embrace. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Just play your creatures. Make sure you have enough forests so you can dump some creatures from your hand and then put Voice of Hunger in the middle, or that you walk your creatures to a clump before you drop the Voice of Hunger. It's really successful so far against the red-green decks. I've not lost a single game. It dies terribly hard though against blue with their Froggy Fi and Mirror Phantasms. But against mono green or mono red or red green, I think it can do really quite well. Alright, let's take a look at some games, and good luck. Good morning, guys. Joke here playing some Faeria, trying to figure out how to beat the red-green meta that's going on in Faeria right now. I feel like Voice of Hunger is a pretty good answer. Let's see, it's pretty terrible against blue though, and not so good against yellow. But if he's playing red or green or combination of the two, it could be pretty nice. So at least he's playing red. Pretty lucky here to have the Grizzly as player 2, so I can set it up in turn 1 and already starting to harvest. Alright, so he's playing a red-green. So now it's on. So I really need to draw my Voice of Hunger to establish this enormous creature that it cannot deal with. And until then I'm just gonna be harvesting. I have some ways of getting mobile in the form of Triton Banquet and also the Grove Callers. So we'll see. I think it's maybe a little bit risky to step up, try to contest these Faeria wells. I might be better off just hopping over to the other side with a second Grizzly. That will, however, make it much harder for me to use the Living Willow properly to get the big buffs. But since I don't have a Living Willow anyway, might as well play it a little bit slower here. This will also allow me to maybe play some double neutrals next turn. It is sort of important though with this deck that I have a lot of forests in like close vicinity of each other, so I can drop a lot of creatures to voice. But yeah, it's not the problem for now, since I don't have it yet. Horsemaster. Is he gonna kill it or not? Overgrown tower. Maybe it's just setting up, you know, to kill it over time. I would be pretty happy if he actually spent like flame burst ciphers on this. Okay, so now I hope we pick up a buff. Yeah, we do. There's quite excellent. So this was really good for us. I wonder if he maybe miscalculated his Faeria or just got a little bit too eager. But that was a great trade for us. He invested actually not too much, but one overgrown tower proc, wasted his horsemaster more or less. Okay, so now we pick up an oakling. I think it's safe to play the oakling, because even if he would clear it, I'll gain the value from it, and it's gonna be quite costly for him to clear it. Unless he's running bomb slingers. But even if he is, it's gonna be kind of nice that he spent his bomb slinger on an oakling, if he now chooses to do that. So here's the first Warstorm champion. You can still buff something with the overgrown tower. I don't believe it did that yet. Oh, it chooses not to. Okay, so maybe now is a good time to use Voice of Hunger. I could make it so that it will guaranteely hit my Tiki healer if I sack. So it's gonna get +9, +13. Yeah, it's gonna be quite big. I think we're gonna go for it here. So we start by Tiki Piper. And of course, before I sack it, I want to deal 1 damage here. And then we hunger over here. Buffs our healer. And yeah, this is going to be really hard for him to deal with. The healer is a little bit... It's a little bit unfortunate that I haven't taken more damage to face. If his Warstorm champion had hit me in the face more often, it would have felt much better to drop it. Alright, so what can we pick up here? Another feed. Another feed, wow, it's really not what we're looking for. I'm gonna start stepping up here, I think. If I clear this, I'm gonna have 11 life left. I'm gonna play the healer, because I'm not drawing anything else that I can really play. I need to apply more pressure quickly. The triple feed in hand is really bad. But yeah, so it's not gonna, together with the overgrown tower, I don't think it can buff anything enough to clear something. Maybe with a ground shaker. Yeah, now I can take out this grizzly, But he will lose his horse master in the process. Oh, not if he does that, of course. But yeah, he's low on Faeria at this point, and I can start killing stuff. Another voice of hunger. I think I wanna put that down. This is likely to die. Unfortunately, I can't play the Living Willow first. Maybe I just play the Living Willow now, and if he managed to kill this, I mean, he spends a lot of resources on it. This Living Willow is actually gonna give my Voice of Hunger more health and damage than this one would do anyway. And if he can't deal with this now, then he's in trouble. Okay, so... oh no, he doesn't play it to block. Guess he has a Flame Burst. But this is now perfect because I can clear the tower with this, step up with this, and then play the Voice of Hunger here. And even maybe play some other creature here if I pick something else up that is good. Ah, he realized that that would die, so that was a good play by him. Tiki Healer. Now, if I wanna... this is gonna be +7/+7. It's 12. Doesn't feel that great. But I would have to make a land here. But on the other hand, he has no Faeria, he's gonna collect 1. So maybe it's not so bad if I make it a little further back, because that way I can do something like this. And now all of a sudden it feels much more worth it. Now we have another big creature, so even if he would summon something to step in the way here, I can clear it. We only have one Voice of Hunger left, but we do have a bunch of Oaklings still, so we have a lot of threats still. Oh, that's game. GG. Alright, so that's how you beat Red-Green nowadays. Voice of Hunger, it's really hard for them to deal with. But of course, you can always be unlucky.